Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy, and I'm back. And yeah, I kind of choked off the leaderboard a little bit. Just gonna continue playing not mine, I guess best in A's 3.3 Xbow deck. It's pretty much 3.0 with Rocket, and I do use Electro Speed personally. Just go in here. Yeah, guys, if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. Once again, new channel, obviously. LOL. So, yeah, going opposite lane against Graveyard here, but I'm not sure if it's Graveyard now, so we're just gonna pull this back. I hope he pops this ability, and he does, because that was the worst ability of my life. I mean, it was just free 2 elixir for me. So we're in a really good spot. Start this game off, even though we did not get a lock. So we're definitely at 6 first. I'm thinking I can put this down before he gets an RG down. That'd be really nice. And unfortunately, it does not work. And I did take that risk. So we're just gonna knight here to stop the damage. And I wasn't necessarily confident I can stop full damage here, and I'm not gonna. I am gonna take one shot, especially because he does play the fisherman, and that's fine for me, honestly. It's not the end of the world. We can definitely get it back with a rocket or two. So yeah, definitely gonna be a hard matchup once again. I feel like these matchups always last 5 minutes. I don't know about you guys. I get really like. Sometimes I'm just like, oh no, like no matter how high I am and how like focused or excited I am, when I know it's gonna be a 5 minute game in the first minute, it's just like a feeling of dread, you know. Even though it's like, oh no, I have to play perfectly for 5 minutes, or it's like I have to defend this for 5 minutes, or it's like, bro, really, some dude has cancer and now I have to defend because of it. It's ridiculous. Just kidding. You don't have cancer if you play RG. Yeah, really fat luck by us because for some reason though, yeah, critical moment as I was like ranting. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but he might have accidentally placed his fire, whatever, his bird, in the back with his skeleton king or whatever. I guess maybe thinking I don't have Xbow when I did. Yeah, and I just went in, and then yeah, really fat lock. So that's kind of getting me excited. I'm low-key, I'm calculating my I'm over here thinking 2 logs, 2 rockets, because I don't want to play this any longer. I'm just gonna rocket him here, really ballsy, because I can defend. On the right, that's 1 elixir counter, and the left is where the rest of the elixirs go, and he can't go in immediately. So yeah, I'm just gonna eat the damage here on the right, if that gets any. And these skeletons, he gives me a really good log here, so I'm super excited. I think RG low is really bad against an Xbow that is the same lane as it, so however, really scary here. I am ready to eat some damage just because I can take a little bit of damage. The towers are pretty healthy. I just gotta make sure I don't get down to like less than 1,000, because all I need is really like 2 logs and a rocket here. So I'm just gonna have to make sure I can defend, after this push. And the fact that he goes both lanes is actually, I think, like, I don't know, if there's an AI playing this game, it would never do that, because sometimes it's good to go both lanes, but in that case, I think there's so much outplay potential for one to go both lanes, because as a defending player, you can choose to defend, each lane uniquely and only to the extent that you need to, allowing you to move your elixir more efficiently onto the offense and, split damage evenly and whatnot. I think that's a very important part of Clash Royale, is being able to split damage on those like key defenses. You gotta prioritize the weaker side and whatnot. Um, so yeah, and we did that, and we defended pretty well. So yeah, on to the next game. That guy, I don't know, that was just like a terrible rookie mistake. I don't know how he pulled that off. But yeah, like I said, guys, I did like drop like 5 or 6 games, so we're below 2,000 again, and we're just gonna climb back up. Let's see what this dude's playing. Just gonna go for an Xbow. I mean, if they don't do that, why not? I'm already kind of thinking I won here, but until I see that Electro Dragon, just because I can't really counter it. Unfortunately, I'm at 0. And it's just gonna kill my Xbow, but I did get a really nice lock, like 1,000 damage. And this is really annoying. I mean, bro, I don't know, so many annoying cards. And it's interesting because at my deck, like, I think, like, I don't know, I always use log. I guess everybody uses Logger's app. Like, you always have a counter to the barrel, but I feel like those, like, spam decks, man, they annoy the hell on me. But yeah, we're kind of low here on the elixir, but we do get the damage lead, really nice. um and yeah, guys, by the way, like, Royale update, I'm gonna be making an update video about what I think of the new Clash Royale, like, update balance changes real soon. And yeah, that video is gonna be coming up soon. But like as you guys saw, I'm just gonna talk a little about each the cards, exactly what the changes, and fully cover it and what I think about it, and kind of just see where the game's going, what I think needs to be addressed, and what is being addressed. But I mean, as you might know, I'm gonna be extremely happy with the completely ridiculous balance changes finally going in my favor. Really nice press by us. We're just gonna need archers to like clutch up here really hard. Really tough barrel here because we're not back to E-Spirit, but our skeletons off to the side actually went crazy, but whatever. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, spoiler alert, but archers are getting some like crazy, what is it, like a 1.1 to like a 0.9 shot speed. It's like a 18 or 19% like speed, like buff, like attack range. So it's pretty much just like 20% more DPS. And on top of that, it's not just pure DPS, it's also just like hit efficiency, so to speak. For example, like a mini P.E.K.K.A has high DPS, but Xbow is going to be way better with low DPS, I guess, like a graveyard or skeletons, right? So because of my point is because the archers are now shooting faster, it's even better than a pure damage increase. They're going to be like shooting like, I don't know, like Dark Goblin speeds or something. Because they already don't shoot that slow. They shoot like faster than Musketeer and other cards, but like, yeah, and I mean, I didn't even think they were that bad, honestly. I mean, I'm using them in this deck over Queen. And they're just super good at cycle. I mean, if their opponent doesn't have arrows, like they just get really good value. If anything, I would have just like maybe asked for like a range buff, because the range is like really small. But and it's like really hard to kite. I mean, I don't know, range is super important. I might have made them OP, but I mean, like, bro, you think that's gonna be more OP than what they just did? Yeah, I mean, yeah, without my bias, like, I would be definitely calling for, like, I mean, like, what's it called? A reduction. You know how they pose, these are preliminary, something to change. They're not gonna change, guys. Maybe one or two of them will change. But, they might reduce the number, and I'm sure they will for archers, because that one seemed the most aggressive and crazy one. And, once again, guys, I do apologize for the ventilator, and if you hear any noise in the background or some kids shouting, as per usual, because, yeah, welcome to college. But, yeah, so the archers buff, crazy. Like, I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I do think they were kind of on the weaker side, but, like, honestly, like, if you would have asked me if Supercell's gonna buff on the testing, I would have been like, no. Because they're not that weak to the point where, like, Supercell, especially the way Supercell treats Xbow players, is like, oh, they're still playing Xbow and it's like still viable. It's like, I would have never expected this, so, but I'm super hyped. And of course, on top of that, the Knight buff. Guys, 3% is huge. Like, Knight needed a buff less than archers did. I guess because the usage rates are low. I mean, yeah, they are very low, and I mean, I don't know if Supercell's gonna realize that, like, they added all these, like, broken cards. Like, for 3 elixir, you can have a Knight on their tower. For 3 elixir, you can have a Knight that goes invisible. For 3 elixir, you can have, like, a Knight that dashes. For 4 elixir, you can have, like, a Knight that just, like, does more damage, more health, and, like, teleports and kills every single unit in existence, and just, like, hops on and locks on tower. You know what I mean? And we've been waiting for a patch for a year on that, so I don't know what's going on with that. But, yeah, so, like, I mean, people are never going to play the Knight because, first of all, the usage rates, I mean, at the beginner level, everybody just wants to use, like, some fun card, which is fine. And at the high level, I mean, like, yeah, it applies so much pressure offensively when the card, like, teleports or goes invisible. I'm talking about the banded dash, by the way, but, yeah, and that's what the usage rates aren't low necessarily because it's a bad card. Like, top players, but it's just like, it's like a personal preference thing. And of course, like, all those cards are OP abilities, like, synergize, quote unquote, and they're gonna do, like, you know, great things together, and that's why all these deck archetypes exist, and it's like every card in Clash Royale is truly unique. It might sound really corny, but, like, if Supercell, like, I mean, if you took out some of the cards, other cards would become OP. Like, it has evolved into, like, a balanced game, more or less. Because of the nature of, like, the tic-tac-toe cards, like arrows, archers, Skarmy, log, whatever, whatnot. Pretty much ranged units go if ranged units unchecked are OP, but then, like, spells are OP, but then, like, spells are bad against other cards. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, point is, night buff is like crazy. 6% is insane. I mean, they could have just done 3% because wasn't the last change to night already a buff of like 3% or 6%? And I guess that didn't affect the usage rates or win rates at all. I haven't really checked win rates, but I know usage rate can't be that high. It's really only used in Xbow, and I think Xbow is the best spot it's ever been, and yeah, so I'm kind of really hyped for the night change because 6% is massive. Like 3% would have been already like getting that extra shot, but now like 6%, I mean, like that is gonna be annoying. Like a lot of times my knight kills like off like a royal ghost or something, and it barely has like it has enough for like 1 or 2 swings on the tower, and that's enough to bait out elixir. And other times, you know, maybe after countering like I don't know, like a dark prince, it doesn't have enough health to do anything. But I mean, this is just gonna make it so much more useful so often, and like in terms of counter push and single elixir. Plus with the 20% DPS increase from archers, I mean, Xbow has to be OP. Like I don't know. Maybe not OP, I mean, there's still obviously counters, but I think the meta's going to adjust to account for how strong Xbow is next season, should these balance changes go through. Because 3.0 is going to be cracked. And luckily, I've already been playing archers, not archer queens, so I'm really used to them. And I mean, I've played archers my whole life, so I'm, you can call me Archer Master, except I'm not him. But, yeah, of course, speak of the devil, the rocket, massive nerf. Upsetting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're complaining about. They like I don't know. They create OP cards. How am I gonna win with a 2.6 cycle anymore? You can't. Joker is like 2.6 is unusable at top 200 at this point. But yeah. LOL, I just kind of went on a rant about the balance changes for like 5 minutes, and I'm still gonna make a video on it discussing all of them. And but yeah, there's just kind of like what's it called? A little bit of a sneak peek for y'all of my thoughts. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be really happy about those Xbow changes. I really like. I mean, I do think they're gonna nerf the buff to the archers before it comes out. I'm sure they will. Same, and because naturally everything always like tilts opposite of the way I want to go. You know, when they're nerfing mortars, like it's good, but of course, before the nerf actually happens, they're gonna reduce the nerf. In all fairness, mortars, I think. I think the reduction to the nerf last time was a good call because in all fairness, I do think mortar isn't OP now. I do think it's more balanced, and perhaps it might have been too weak with the full nerf. But nonetheless, it was OP before, and as you can see nowadays, like mortar is still in some of the best decks, and it could. I mean, if you were to change it, definitely still needs a nerf instead of a buff. Definitely does not need a buff. But yeah, so I mean, those are the main 3 changes. I feel like a lot of the other changes were like inconsequential. I don't know, like I just feel like it's so. What is the balance team position a full-time position? Like, what do they do for like 6 months? Because I mean, I can just point to a weak card and be like, oh, the Dark Gob or the Goblin Giant that's not that great. Let's just buff, give him this tiny inconsequential buff and see what happens. And it's good that they're buffing, doing these small changes. The thing is that it just does not take that long. I mean, I could do all of the balance changes in a day and more if they gave me the ropes. And I guarantee you, yeah, they might not be the most optimized as I can get them, but they're going to be more optimized or just as optimized as a Supercell team. Because sometimes it really feels like the balance changes are like the most simple thing ever. They're like, oh, this is weak, like we're just going to buff it by like a little bit. And that's not very hard. It's really easy to do minor adjustments. Like if you know the card is, you know the card is going to be tangibly better if you buff 3% health, and you know that 3% is not going to change anything unless it's like a giant. Like that's huge. But like, you know that like it's not going to be OP. It might still be underpowered, but you're just going to take one little step in the right direction. So yeah, a lot of the other changes, can't even remember them, kind of inconsequential. Mainly Rocket Cycle is going to be dead. I mean, I'm going to be definitely dropping, spoiler, Expo Lightning video as soon as the update drops, because, I mean, why would I use Rocket when I can just Lightning? You know what I mean? And I'm going to check the damage of Lightning to units as opposed to instead of tower, just because I want to see what, like, you know, how it would fare against a P.E.K.K.A. or a Uh, some of the other units that can actually just live through the lightning and the rocket. Like for example, like I mean, I guess you could Sparky's a good example, but I don't know. Everything kind of dies to lightning. What else is like tanky? Yeah, I guess like right if they're going like Skelly, Drags, and Lava Hound, the Lava Hound's gonna live. I want to see like what the difference in damage is gonna be. I still gonna prefer using the lightning though, because one, I'm gonna get massive value on it. Like if they put a defensive bomb tower down, or if they put like defensive infrared tower, boom, lightning right now would have been over. Like his career would be over for lightning right now, which I could have, but I can't. I'm not gonna like rocket it, or I'm not gonna prediction rocket it. I mean, this prediction rocket on the inferno tower is like kind of high level, and I'm not gonna do it unless it's like end game and I'm desperate, and or like if it's like pretty calm and I'm pretty sure he's gonna do that. That's a pretty rare prediction, I'd say. It's prediction rocket in the middle. In a tense game, I don't know. But yeah, we're going into overtime here. We're just gonna rocket cycle this guy real quick, and they're kind of spamming here. I wanted to get my electrosphere down just to make sure no more shots, because I know it is getting rocket cycle range. I was not about to let this guy freaking hold his princess on the field for 7 shots. Yeah, dude's mad, dude's crying, dude's seething. And yeah, as you can see, the game's haven't been terribly difficult. This dude's so mad, guys. I don't usually VM, but I don't know, it's just like a reaction of mine. Just like he triggers me, I guess I feel like I need to do it back. Oh well. Yeah, we're playing tank. Hopefully it doesn't have too much tanks, literally. Let's go back to my archers. I think the best starting hand is like Xbow, archers, Tesla, and Lock. Because you want the Tesla for hog riders, you want the log for barrels, you want the Xbows to put golem in the back, or like other stuff in the back, like, you know, giant in the back if they're like really bad. I guess not essential. Xbow might be good as like a 5th card. And then like you want archers to split in the back and also just defend. Yeah, maybe if Xbow's 5th card, then the best starting hand will probably have like Knight in it. I don't know. Yeah, I think Knight. I guess not the cycle cards, just because they don't really do anything. It's like cycle cards can get a lot of value, but at the same time, in terms of safety, you're gonna be better off with the Knight. So the guy does shows his freeze, and I mean this game's pretty much over already. I mean, I should know it's not over because he got damage on the other lane, but and we are in a damage lead though, so it shouldn't be too hard to wrap this up and send him home. He's gonna Knight in the back. I do want to kind of, you know, take the offensive position here. I am thinking about rocketing that. I choose not to because my idea is I can always rocket later. But sometimes I really did not want to. I did not want to deal with that, and I thought I was gonna rocket later. I ended up not because he didn't put anything in front. But yeah, we're just gonna log this because it's been awkward for us, which is kind of really awkward to deal with. And I got a nice set of skeletons here and just pull that kind of dead card. I'm just gonna X in front of this because I'm not sure exactly what he's gonna have for this. And I do think our Tesla can get a lot of value. Not the best place by my guy. So yeah, right here, guys, Tesla's about to go pop off. Unfortunately, the mini P.E.K.K.A does get a hit. And I could have reacted. I could have played that better with a different electrosphere placement there, but I wasn't really thinking too far ahead. And I already placed it once I realized. Not the end of the world though. I guess that's why we're not top 10,000, because could have already had the tower by now, but we don't. So for this game, we know why. So right there, I do rocket because I don't want to deal with this in like double elixir. And I feel like it'd just be dangerous when my Tesla's like shooting at skeletons when he needs to be shooting at a balloon or something. So I'm just gonna go for a Tesla here. And yeah, massive push coming up. So we're just gonna kind of have to like stall this out somehow. And yeah, we do the deep sea Tesla does gonna pull, and the archers are gonna lock on soon. And I know he's gonna do that, so I'm just gonna go for another Tesla here because that was pretty scary, guys. And I'm glad we got through that, but I don't know, bro. Balloon freeze posters are really crazy for me. So yeah, 10 more seconds. It's done. And yeah, after that, we are gonna be on the leaderboard after this game, so super hype. Just gonna rocket it out. Send this dude back to where he came from. Yeah, and yeah, thumbs up as per usual. Oh, guys, once again, like for this meta, this deck I think is perfect. I think this is the best deck. But once they nerf rocket, I mean, I'm guessing Fireball has to be back in. has to. Either way, I mean, even if I kept Rocket in this particular deck, still be a net buff after the balance changes, in my opinion. Because, I mean, archers are just OP, like 20%, bro. Like, I've been thinking about that, and that's just insane to me. So, yeah, guys, we're at 7,100, whatever. And if you liked the video, literally hit the like button, please. And subscribe. It really helps me out. And, yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.